Hello and welcome to The Great Circle, an upcoming animal survival game set in a giant African caldera. I'm TJ, developer for this game, and today I'm bringing you a gameplay stream where I'm going to be playing as one of the animals through the early growing part, survival stage, where we're going to be growing up an elephant, basically. Baby elephant to adult. And we're going to be playing in one of the biomes, the newer ones that I'm working on, called the Savannah. There are currently 9 slots on the super map that I'm making for the first major update for the game. This is one of the 9. So we've basically got 6. We've got 3 more after that to go. But we're going to go ahead and get started. If you have questions, you can find out everything you need to know about the Great Circle via the description below the video. And you can ask questions during the gameplay in the live chat. If you miss the stream, you can ask questions afterwards in the form of comments, so feel free to do that. But be sure to follow the Great Circle on all of its official social media channels. We're basically everywhere. YouTube is the main one. Instagram, we're doing really well there. Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook. We are all of those places. The easiest way to get there, the website links to all of it. You can see all the little icons. You can click it. So thegreatcircle.weebly.com. That's in the description below the video. And also just the individual links are in there. But sometimes YouTube's description breaks those links. So if they don't work, just go through the website, thegreatcircle.weebly.com there. That one works. And just click the icons, including the Discord one is there as well. Or at any one of those social media sites, just go into the search engine for that and just type in the Great Circle game and we should come up. So we're going to go ahead and get started here with some gameplay. Let me go ahead and get the window up and going. And good evening to everyone. We're going to be previewing the upcoming version 1.6. And while that's loading, I'm just going to have a little bit of music playing there. This level actually is this area is quite big, so it's going to take a couple minutes to load. So we got time for questions. I'm going to try to just rely on the in-game music, which we put in. So when you get this version 1.6, if this is still the loading time, don't worry, the game isn't frozen, it's just loading. And, hopefully I'll have cut that down by then, but just sit and wait. Should be fine. If it crashes, you'll know because basically the whole thing will close out and you'll get an error on your screen saying the Unreal Engine has crashed the game or whatever. So this isn't a crash, it's just this is what normally happens. It's just going to take a couple minutes for the whole level to load. Actually, I'll be right back. I'm just going to let it continue to load. And we're back. Just waiting for this level. Hey, it's Mystics. How you doing? Good evening and welcome. You're about to see the first ever elephant growth stream. I think. I could be wrong. But I'm going to say it until somebody proves me wrong. The first ever live elephant growth stream. Doing pretty good. Really good day. Started a little bit late. Had a lot of fun with the Path of Titan stream earlier. And was really looking forward to getting started on this one today. Ready to show off some of this progress. Here we go. Alright, so this is part of the normal process. The world's not fully loaded yet, so you're floating just in case there's not a floor to drop down onto. So in about 30 seconds, we're about to be lowered. I want it to be early morning, so this is like not the time period that I wanted, but I forgot to switch the thing back. Oh, is there another one? Go to this one. So all the AI are going to be eating up all the food. See how the food's starting to disappear there? Let me get this one. Ibex over there. Griffin vulture in the sky. Dead body over here. hear another elephant, but I don't know where he is. Sound like he's this way. Okay, I'm full. So now I will go and get some water. Conditions are changing a little too quickly there. We do have our ripples. Hog on the ridge there. Ripples are doing good. One second. Rabbit. Oh, sun just peeked behind the mountains. Really dark really quickly when that happens. And night vision. It seems like we loaded in mid. We loaded in at mid afternoon towards the evening. I want to find a big elephant so I can show you how small I actually am. When you zoom out, you can get a better perspective. But the big boys are really big. Can I eat this? Nope. I can eat that. Oh, glitch. There's water right here. Now, it's not a bug that there will be water in places that it seems like there shouldn't be, because elephants can actually smell water, so I want to give them the ability to kind of be in a shallow ditch or whatever and be able to dig a little bit to get it, but the beginning of that is there. So you see how it went away? This would be an example of a place where an elephant can dig and get some water. Hi, Golden Raptor. How you doing? Thank you so much. See how it looks with no night vision. Even without night vision, I think it looks pretty decent. There are conditions where it's really bright at night, where the moon is out. There's no moon right now, but oh, there it is. Where the moon is out and it's shining off of the clouds and it's hitting fog and it looks bright. But the conditions change randomly, so you can't really predict when that will be. Oh, I thought I could eat these. There's food that way. 2 other water sources. I'll head in the direction of the food. I can hear the other elephants. I can't see them though. They're probably towards the food. Oh, what's that? A warthog. They're a wild boar. Couple ibexes, some dragonflies, atlas deer, rabbit. Look at these 3. Hard to see him, but chewing on that grass patch. Bullfrog sound. Oh, I'm doing pretty good, Golden Raptor. Look at the otter. I want to see the otter go in the water. Let's see if he goes to the water. I think he's messing with these two. Yeah. Yeah, it is kind of relaxing. And we do have the music, but it comes in like kind of randomly. You can't really predict when the music is going to play. And the ambiance is going to get even cooler once I have more of the birds that make certain types of noises and stuff, and certain monkeys and things. They're going to add a lot to the ambiance. Now the cool thing I think about the ambient sounds is we have a natural ambient system, so every sound you hear is actually an animal making a sound. If you go in the direction of any sound, eventually you will see the animal making the sound. Like I can hear wild boars in this direction, and I would eventually see them. Get the big bush. Eventually we're going to consume all the food in this area and we got to move. See how they're stopping at this bush here? They're eating it up. There's a tortoise trying to get to this bush. but I'm gonna eat it. God dang it. Done yet? Nope. Getting there. Kind of got turned around. I don't know which. Is this the closer water or the further one? I think this is the closer. Yeah. I didn't even see him. It's a little baby wildebeest there. So those are griffin vultures there. And I believe they're flying over that carcass. I think that's a carcass. Should be. No, it's not. Well, there's 3, so there should be a carcass somewhere over there. Dawn? It's almost dawn. Sun's coming up. Planned release date for the update, Golden Wrapper, this month. Sometime this month for the version 1.6. Just don't know exactly the day, but this month. I like it better when I can see. Well, this is a little disappointing. I wanted to see an elephant so that I could compare the size difference. But I'm now like almost 90% as a baby. So once it hits 100, I will be full adult. I won't have to hit grow anything. It's going to automatically change me to an adult. And I will be a half-grown adult at that point, and then I can grow all the way to 100% adult. I mean, I feel like I should have seen one elephant or giraffes or something. Something is a little bit amiss here. Rain is not finished, so it is sort of not easy to see right now. You can see it in the distance, but not close up, really. There was a carcass here. I knew it. Easy to step on those guys. And then they go to the next food source, and if I let them do it themselves, they will eat it up. And that's how food runs out. So there's not much food left in the area. The elephant does have trample damage. I don't have it turned on currently because I wanted to see the little animals and not really step on them, but all animals actually have trample damage ability. What it does is it uses the weight of each animal to decide if damage is done to the other animal that they trample. So if it's smaller, then there's damage done. If it's bigger, then there's no damage done. But if you get under a bigger animal, then there's going to be damage done to you. Atlas deer. What are graphics going to look like when you get there? When you get where? When we get 1.6 out, I think it'll look like this or better. The graphics, I think, look good. I just was worried more about the performance of the frame rate. I wanted to have a steady frame rate on every platform. Targeting like 60 FPS as a base. Oh, there we go. Oh, no. Come on. So I basically hit adult, and now it's switching to the adult elephant. So I'm a half-grown adult when that switches. This is not supposed to happen, though. And dang it, dude. I do have an issue. That's a problem. I thought I fixed that. That's actually what happened the last time I tried to stream elephant. So what I'm going to do is just switch to the adult model real quick. I'm also gonna just double check to see why I didn't see any of the bigger animals. Like I was supposed to see rhinos, elephants, giraffes. Not always, but I mean I was expecting to see at least one. That's annoying. Yeah. All right, Golden Raptor, thanks for coming. All right, so while this is loading, I guess I'll switch to, I'm going to show some sample video. So it's still loading, but I'm just playing this while we wait. And I'll end with showing the, this is just like random test video that shows what I've been working on. So this is like a different biome. This is the marshlands biome, where it's mostly characterized by a lot of wet territory with long grass. And here I was just testing with the leopard. Dang it, dude, what is going on? Well, we might experience some lag with the video because the editor's trying to restart at the same time. But this is like the marshlands. This is flying over the grasslands as secretary bird. I think this is where we saw the herd. Let me see if this is where we saw that big herd. Let me scroll through it a little bit. So we see giraffes. And there was like a big wildebeest herd that just kind of formed spontaneously. Let me just see. It might not be in this video. We see a bunch of stuff in this video, but I don't know if we saw the herd. Anyway, you see there's normally lots of big animals that you can spot from great distances and stuff. Can't show that yet. This is the central grasslands. You're seeing like one of the first big landmarks on the entire super map. That's the it's kind of like a big monument in the middle of grasslands, which is in the middle of the entire map. And the idea is that you can see it from a lot of different areas in the map, but it's like a big seat. It's like a stack of igneous rocks, basically. It's big, really freaking big. It's very nice. It's like a mountain, but it's not actually a mountain. That's a black leopard there. Let me get some more relevant video, like some actual elephant video, since that's what this stream is supposed to be about. Sorry for the crash, by the way. I didn't expect it. I thought that was fixed. But I have to go and see what caused the crash this time. Oh, missed this one. Always care for the little ones. I would imagine a fully grown elephant will wreck lions. Yeah, elephants are the most powerful animals in the game. They're not invulnerable. Some of the venomous snakes can take down elephants with their venom, and they are targets of poachers and certain kinds of humans. But they are, animal against animal. The elephant is the bigger, badder, more powerful animal. Very dangerous too. The ones that have calves are meaner. They're more aggressive than just if you encounter just like a a random elephant somewhere, like eating or whatever, or like a random bull. All right, let's see here. Engine is just now restarting. Just about ready. I'm just going to switch back to that level. But as I do, I wanted to show some more. Footage. Okay, so I'm going to redirect this back over to here. And editor's still loading, so I'm just going to show a little more of the elephant stuff. There we go. So I wanted to show this. Show a big widescreen.
I'm going to see this one. I randomized the tusks, so some of them have broken tusks, some of them have short tusks, some of them have thick tusks. This one has a broken one on the right side, a long one on the left side. This is a version 6 elephant, I think. Oh, there's your rhino.
Yeah, I wanted to show that.
Too close. And we can see the small animals in here too. We're basically almost at half capacity for animals, and we're still looking pretty good on performance. Oh, you just took a hit. Oh, we're back up. Still looking pretty smooth. Sunrise is pretty nice here, even without the fog, giving us the God rays and stuff.
What's stopping a group of players who grow snakes and go around killing everyone? Nothing in particular. Every animal is gonna have its limitations as far as like movement and stuff. Like I don't explicitly have to think about like, well, what's stopping elephants from going on rampage and stuff. Well, they have, like, all animals have. Give me a second. Let me switch the level back over real quick. All animals have imperatives that keep them busy for certain parts of the day. Like in the morning, if you're a big herbivore, the first thing you're gonna do is eat. You're gonna eat up all the plants that you can find before they get eaten up all by all the other herbivores that are getting up. And you fill up your belly so that if you're going to travel, you're going to have enough energy to make it from one area to the next area. So you've got to eat. And if you don't eat very well, like during the day, then you won't be able to travel. So you kind of have to stay in the same area, wait till morning comes, see what else is available for food, see if you can get full. Like it's like thinking about think about like driving around in a car. You need to make sure your tank of gas is full if you're going to go a long distance. So it's kind of the same concept. You know, you might get stuck in a cycle where there's only a little bit of food, enough to keep you alive, and then you wait another day, and then only a little bit more food in that area to keep you alive. So you don't really have enough to get out, and you're kind of stuck. So you know, every animal's going to have its imperatives like that. Well, everything's got to eat, but I mean, like you got to eat different amounts of food, and there's different things available for each creature. And you know, it's not going to be that easy to be a snake killing things, because your basic strategy is you got to strike and you got to get away from the danger before they kill you, because your venom isn't instantaneous. It takes effect over time. So it's kind of like you bite and then you stalk your prey until they drop dead, and if they don't drop dead, you might have to strike them again, and you know, but there's a risk of being stepped on. You have a higher risk of being stepped on as a snake or like a small ground animal than any other type of animal. Okay. So snakes probably don't want to move long distances often. Other thing you got to think about is like one of the things that plays into is the body temperature of the animals. So like they need to go and cool off every now and then. That really isn't showing itself in the development yet, but I'm setting up the groundwork for it. So eventually it will be implemented. But there's all these things that you have to keep yourself occupied with to keep your animal alive and healthy. That, you know, just say if you want to just go around wanton, just slaughtering other players, that's a really expensive habit. You know what I mean? You're going to be doing that at the expense of finding water, finding the food you need to grow. You know, nursing wounds, nursing sickness or whatever. You're basically going to be doing that with the understanding that you're not going to last very long, because you're just going to run your animal down, because you're not taking care of the needs of your animal, because you're only focused on like fighting, and that's always risky. Pogwar asks, so will lions overheat quickly as an example? As an example, not specifically saying that's the case with the lions yet, but some animals will be more susceptible to heat than others, which is why some of them will be set to be more active at night. At night, night is going to be like almost like a different game. Like there's the daytime creatures that you see, but then there's also the creatures that you don't see that are asleep in bushes, in dens, and they come out at night and you hear them. Like you'll hear the hyenas cackling and laughing and giving you that bone-chilling sensation that there's murderous machines running around out there looking for something to eat at night. And lions as well. Lions and certain animals have really good night vision, and you know the game's going to be different at different times of day. Also different times of the year, because climate and the way that the temperature changes is going to affect how everyone plays the game. 88 more shaders to load before we can switch. Okay. So as I'm talking, I'm just going to put some video on. See if we can maybe skip past the stuff we saw. These are some conditions that are going to be caused by natural disasters, like the entire area being covered in smoke or fog, for example, like from a brush or wildfire. Those tests have been going pretty good. Thick smoke. Solidity says, "Oh, interesting. Sounds like a lot of neat systems other games don't really have. Can't wait to see." Yes. So I'm really putting a lot of effort into creating a more full experience than just find food, find water, grow. I want there to be, you know, complications to finding food, complications to consuming food. You know what I mean? When you eat, your hunger just doesn't go up in this game. You got to digest your food. So there's time plays an issue there. Um, Water, affects everything. Like everything's connected in this game. Like like the way you grow, you can grow faster or slower depending on your overall health. What's your overall health? It's a combination of how well you're fed, if you're injured, how much nutrients you're getting from your food, how much sleep you've had. All these things affect your total health rating, which affects your growth. And then the game has stages, so it's like survival is actually only the beginning of the game. Survival is kind of like your traditional. You start off as a baby, you grow up, and you figure out, how to survive in the world. I'm showing stuff I shouldn't show yet. You figure out how to survive in the world as an adult, but then the adult life is completely a new experience. From there, you've got things like migrating to different areas, taking over food sources, taking over territory, establishing yourself, your dominance, finding mates, doing mating rituals. If you're playing an animal that can get pregnant, successfully getting pregnant from mating, successfully delivering a healthy animal, giving birth to one or laying an egg, protecting the offspring once you have them, whether they are live births and you leave them in the den, you go out, you feed yourself, you come back, you nurse them with milk, or whether they are just eggs that you kind of keep warm for a certain part of the day, you leave, you do your business, you come back to tend to your eggs, and then once they hatch, you got to bring them food back. Or if you're a nursing animal, you can nurse them with milk. All these things make it a more complicated animal survival experience than what we've been used to. And I think that it enriches the experience as well, because the more time you spend thinking and trying to figure things out as the animal that you're playing as, I think the more immersed you are. Salty says, would be interesting to see birds being a natural predator for snakes in the game. Birds in the wild pick up snakes, rendering them unable to strike. I would imagine that would be a little unfair. No, it's completely fair. It happens in nature. I think it's I think it's okay in the game too. You know, there are sometimes you're going to be in a situation where an enemy has complete control over you or a situation that you're in, and you can't really do anything either for that specific time or at all. That's a danger that is just natural. You know what I mean? There are advantages and disadvantages to choosing any type of animal and playing any particular style, whether it is a big grazing animal like a rhino or a close to the earth animal like a meerkat, a small predator like that, or playing a venomous snake, or playing a constrictor type of snake, or playing a crocodile, or playing a hippo, or playing a aviary animal like a bird of prey, like secretary bird, golden eagles. These are animals that do prey on snakes. So it's completely fair. You know what I mean? And in the wild, we don't say it's unfair for the golden eagle to pick up the snake, and the snake doesn't have the leverage to strike back. You know, that's just the way that it is. But the thing is, there's risk and reward for everything. So one of the things is, depending on the region you're in, it's either good or bad for your animal. You know, for your gameplay style for the animal that you chose. All right, so let me switch levels now. It's finally done with the shaders. Let's go to the biome, please. And I'll just double check to see if, make sure that the elephants are loading in and stuff. because I almost feel like they were invisible. Like I could hear them, but I could not see them. And I thought maybe they're just further down the way. Maybe they're just a distance out, and I'm just too far away from them. But I can still hear them. But I don't know. That was weird. Salty says, I skipped one. Let me see here. The Warpog says, will the big cats or other animals be able to climb trees? Eventually, yes. Namely, the leopard will be able to climb trees. And I think lions should have some measure of tree climbing ability, just maybe not as good as leopard. So, like, maybe we give the leopard the ability to not only climb trees, but, sit down in trees, lay down in trees, sleep in trees, drag food up into trees where other animals can't get to the carcass. I think that's cool. Whereas maybe a lion may have the ability to scale up a certain distance or reach maybe a low branch, but they have a timer to where, they're going to fall off. So, because they're not naturally adapted to trees like leopards are. And then, of course, some snakes can climb trees, so that makes sense. So tree climbing will be a feature, and it will be a mechanic for, just various animals that have that ability. And some of the smaller cats, too, should be able to climb trees, such as servals and African wildcats and other stuff. Solidity says, I like your stance on this. I've always found it sad. Other survival games water everything down to make it fair and rather stale, aka balance. Sometimes people do things simply for the fact that it's easier to code the game a certain way. Like one thing about games and art and anything that you're trying to make, usually things start simple and they get more complex. So it's best usually to start as simple as possible because it's going to, as a nature of the process, get more complex. But they won't say that. They'll, kind of cover it in, we think it should be fair or whatever, when maybe the real reason is it would just be harder and more complicated and less performant to do it more in a realistic sense. So usually people have good reasons for what they do and maybe not good explanations. But here, in this respect, I don't see a need to really compromise much yet. Oh my god, we're still loading this level. Ugh. Andrew Gomez says, how are you playing as all these creatures? Are you like a developer? Oh, yes, I am the developer for this game. So I'm responsible basically for everything you see. And learning a lot. Learning more and more every single day. I've been at this for a year. The game is transformed into what it is today from something completely unrecognizable from day one to month 2 to month 6 to all the way to, we're almost on a year that I've been working on this game, and I'm pretty happy with how far it's come. It really does feel quiet. Let me put some music on real quick. Too loud. Turn it down a little bit. Angel Gomez says, "What made you decide to make this kind of survival game, and why not prehistoric creatures?" So last year I got into the Isle. That's what kind of got me into all of this, you know. And as I, played that, I got like kind of an itch to get more into the games like that because I'd never played anything quote unquote that was like a survival simulator or animal simulator. So I got interested. I wonder, is there like an survival game like the Isle, but like with regular animals? And I started to look around, and there was not. Like, I was surprised. Like, there wasn't like the Lion King, Disney's The Lion King animal survival game or anything like that. And so I was, at that time, where I was working, I was thinking, I'm not really going to get really far at my job, and I really want to do something else. And I always thought game developing would be cool. So kind of like, it's like a combination of, I was looking at other career options combined with, I wonder, what it would be like to make a game, and I at the same time was also starting to see like Unreal Engine tutorials and stuff online. And I found out that, Unreal Engine was a really big industry standard for indie developers at the time, and the Isle, the game that I've been playing, actually used it. So I started to wonder, like, what's possible? Like, could I actually, get into video games? And here we go. Hang on. Sorry. Have to put you back on the screen for a second. Sorry about this. Almost ready, but not ready quite yet. Sorry, let me just check the controller real quick. I want to make sure this is loading properly. V1. Yeah, so I was interested in doing this kind of game specifically, animals, because there was already the Isle, there was already Beasts of Bermuda, Path of Titans, and other stuff. But there wasn't this, so I was specifically interested in doing this. I wouldn't have been interested in doing another dino game because there was already one. And one of the reasons I looked around for other games was not just to play one, but also before I started the project, I wanted to see if there were already any other projects started. The only thing at the time that I found was Wild Savannah, but now I'm aware that other stuff was going on, like Animali was out there and other things. Just kind of in the same phase as me, really. Well, would be in the same phase as me, really. 1 second, sorry. Getting a little distracted. Yes, please. Load this, please. Okay. Let me just pick this. Player, elephant, we'll go adult. Oh, one more thing. We want it to be dawn day. One moment, I'll be right back to that thought. Okay, it's already dawn. Take off random. Perfect. So yeah, so I wanted to do something what I thought nobody else was doing at the time. I wanted to get myself started in a new career, something that I was more interested in than the kind of work that I was doing at the time. And also just kind of from a practical matter, animals are easier because there are more resources that, different artists have made models and things like that for animals. And we know what animals look like. Whereas if I was making a dinosaur game, it's really a lot of it's theoretical. So there are different interpretations, for example, of the Spinosaurus in the Isle versus Path of Titans and Beasts of Bermuda. I don't know if that's in Beasts of Bermuda, but there are different ways of seeing animals that are not alive today, but there's a lot of scientific data on. So you can get different results. And what happens is you have to make basically everything custom for those because people aren't sure what they look like. And there aren't a lot of artists who have done work on dinos who don't work for Pixar and have been paid like tens of thousands of dollars to do it. It's really expensive. So I just thought, as a practical matter, it made a lot of sense to work more on an animal game. There would be a lot more resources available to me as like a beginner, amateur indie developer, and I don't know, just more interesting. And it was something that other people weren't doing at the time. So that's why I got into that, and specifically was focusing on animals. All right, play. Almost ready. But having said that, I'm very interested in the other prehistoric projects like Historia, Prehistoric Fury, The Depths. A lot of other stuff that's coming out is really interesting. There's even a game where it's like made up animals. Like, what was the name of that? Veloci did a video on it, but yeah. Solidity says, the tunnel eventually has its light. Keep up the great work. I love how the game is going so far, and I'm sure other people will too. Keep at it and keep loving it. I'm sure everyone will too. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, one important thing is, I wanted to be, I'm genuinely interested in animals. So it's like, if I was doing something that I wasn't really that interested in, like maybe I was doing it because I thought it made a lot of marketing sense, but really I wasn't that passionate about it, I might have given up on it like a month or two in, just like anybody else that take up a new hobby or a new career path or something like that. Just your heart's not in it, man. You're going to need something to get you through what you have to do to get successful. What you have to do to get successful, you got to be at the computer 20 hours a day. You got to be at the computer 16 hours a day. You got to be at the computer constantly, because that's what it takes. And if it ain't passion that's driving you, I don't know what will. And that's one reason that a lot of projects fail within a month or months of starting, because passion gets away from them. It starts becoming more about money, about market positioning, and things that don't keep you up late. This game has kept me up late. I've missed sleep. And I'm a big proponent of sleeping, you know what I mean? Yeah, I've missed sleep and didn't miss it. Like, I've had energy to keep going because of the passion that I have for the game. So that's a good sign. Like, I really love working on this game. Andrew Gomez says, what about testing A? Yeah, I knew that was the same thing as Savannah. I wasn't sure until somebody told me. Testing A seems cool. As from what I understand, it's the testing branch of WoW Savannah. So it's basically the same game, just like a more advanced version. I guess you can say it's the Evrima of Wild Savannah, if Wild Savannah were the Isle. But that seems like, I guess it's like a similar theme to this. But this game isn't simply, it's animal survival in Africa. This game is actually an animal survival theme game that it takes place and is centered around a narrative story. So basically, you're seeing a lot of just the survival animal part of the game. That's actually not the whole game. A lot of this game is actually explaining the world that you're going to be playing in. So it takes place in a caldera, a giant dead super volcano. But there's a story behind the conservation organization that runs the area, that makes sure, like, it's a conservation area, you know what I mean? Like, it's make sure that endangered animals are protected. They run the area. There's a story behind the company that funds them. There's a story behind the company's relationship with the local government. There's a whole narrative around this that is basically like the human side, the human gameplay of the game, that you can discover through playing the game and all of its parts. You know what I mean? You could just play this game as just a straight animal survival game and get full enjoyment, and just that's the game for you. But you should think of it like this. It's kind of almost like GTA, where yeah, you can play freestyle. You don't have to play like central story missions, but there is a centralized story narrative that gives context to everything that you see, that gives reasons for what animals are there, why the animals are there, why the animals have a certain relationship with the people, and things like that. So there's a lot more to this game than just the things that I'm showing. it's a bigger game than what it looks like. Is the simple way to say it. How did I get on that tangent? I'm still waiting for this thing to load. All right, let me see. Considering that we have like 4 to 6 different Spinosauruses skeletons, and they're all incomplete, there's so much more data on animals today. Absolutely, there's no ambiguity on what a leopard or a giraffe look like, and that's so useful. That means like it's easier for me to find prototype models, for example, because people know what giraffes look like, and they've done them as like a resume builder to work for Pixar or Industrial Light and Magic in the film industry. A lot of the 3D models, they want to get hired by the movie studios to do animations and stuff. But like it's so much easier to find animal stuff out there, and dino stuff is harder. It takes a lot more work, and you almost always have to do everything from scratch. But animals, I love it. And there's so much data that I can just look on Wikipedia. If I don't know like an elephant's eating habits or patterns and stuff like that, I just go on Wikipedia and find definitive scientific knowledge about that. And there's no ambiguity about it. We've been studying them for decades, or for as long as we have observed them. And dinos is just different. And Jugoma says, speaking of that, I am actually developing a game on Roblox, and I want your thoughts on it. It's called Sector 16, and it's basically a mix of... Oh, hang on. We are back as a adult elephant. Loading in. Basically at dawn. Fog looks nice, doesn't it? It's not bad fog. All right, and here come the God rays. All right, so now I'm a half-grown, or I should say 60% grown adult elephant. He's bigger than the baby model that I had earlier, and he's gonna get even bigger over time. This one does not have tusk, but the player can develop tusk. There we go. So I can see the other big animals are coming in. That's your giraffe over there. 2 giraffes. And then there's an elephant. Let me get some of this food. You can hear him eating. It's a little too loud. I gotta fix that. Let me get this. That's an adult too, just a smaller adult. So I think they get as small as this. Is he the same size? Is he bigger? Oh, let me move away a little bit. Oh. Rhino. That's a small rhino. So actually we get like as small as this as adults, but bigger. We get bigger. This is a baby. This is a borderline juvie giraffe here. Giraffes get bigger, much bigger. So I'm actually not a full-size elephant. You can kind of see. And for those who are wondering, like, hey, that's a big giraffe. No, giraffes born 6 feet tall. From the jump, they're 6 feet tall as fresh infants. They are freaking huge. I did not have any idea how big they were until I started to research that. But this here is a bigger, he's not an infant. They're smaller than that, but like He's definitely a big juvie. Right about ready to transition to adult. Oh, I should have turned on the trample so you guys can see what it's like to step on stuff as a big boy. It's kind of fun. And when trample is on, everything just gets the F out of the way. Like, everything moves. Because now they can sense the trample box, but you can't see it. So they all run away from the trample. Okay, and what Angel was saying was it's basically a mix of your game and the Ark. It's basically, you mean Ark, like the game that has dinosaurs and science fiction and stuff like that. So it's like this, but with science fiction. There's a lot more science fiction than you might realize for this too. It's not gonna go to Ark level, but there's once you start to get into the lore and the story of this game, you'll start to discover it. I don't want to give away the farm. And just says, hey, I need your thoughts on I'm making a mutated creatures of our game. Will you please? Oh, come on. I might have a bugged adult elephant, might be causing it, because this didn't happen when I was playing the juvie elephant. So it might just be whenever this... Is it going to keep going, or is it going to crash? It crashed. Oh, damn it. Just as well, I'm going to have to end this stream then until I get that fixed. But, yeah, let me finish the questions here. Let me see here. I'll just have this playing in the background while I read the rest of the questions. Let me see. Creatures of our game, will you please? A human is basically a mix of your game and the Ark. I don't know. Generally speaking, I don't know what to think of that. A little too much sci-fi I shied away from this game. But it is there is something very important about it. Sorry if you see the same text over and over. I have a bunch of typos. And you come as, since you mentioned about the lore of this game, can you explain more about the corporation? So I could say some limited things, but how much can I say? Well, I guess I can't say a lot about the corporation yet, but I guess I can say humans, talking about the human side of this, because humans are a part of animals' lives, even in the wild. You know, they live side by side with us as human beings, and we impact them and they impact us. There are different types of humans in the game. Some serve the purpose of providing some kind of natural threat for players who decide to play the bigger animals like elephants and rhinos. Like once you get one of those animals to adult, you're basically invulnerable. Like lions can't hunt elephants, full-grown elephants, not in small numbers at least. So humans present a threat in the form of poaching, in the form of villagers protecting their crops and their cattle from certain animals, in the form of trophy hunters. But humans aren't all bad. There are also classes of humans, and some of these are playable, that are... One of the gameplay modes is Conservation Officer, and that's basically like a game warden. They go around the animal's territory and just make sure that poachers aren't picking off animals, that people aren't smuggling things, doing things illegal. But they're there mostly to protect the animals and the integrity. Hang on, why did the other window not close? That's interesting. Um, so there those class of humans that are there to protect animals. There's also a class of humans that are just tourists, where you get basically a ride around on a bus, and it's like a spectator mode on rails, and you're just kind of looking around, and it just kind of takes you around just like you would be on a safari tour, you know. So there's that. There's journalists, go there and they go and report on things. There's bird watchers. There's wildlife photographers, where the object of the gameplay is to get pictures of every animal or whatever. And then there's more to it than that. I can't really say enough. I can't say anything about the company yet, because it would kind of be a little bit obvious the direction I'm going, and it's not meant to be, one layer of something to discover. There's actually multiple layers, and I don't know. Yeah, but I guess I can say that the company will both serve as a force of antagonism in the game. In other words, there's going to be something not quite right about the corporation, but there's also going to be good people that are a part of the corporation too that will play into the story. All I can say without saying too much. We've seen some of these kinds of stories before in video games or in movies, so it's like I'm not saying it's formulaic or anything. It's certainly original, but it is a little bit, I don't want to give too much away because I haven't actually set a lot of the plot in place. Let me get back to the chat here. And as of right now, the name of the company is called Kippany. Man, being a dev is such a hard life, to be honest. My passion is writing, so maybe I'm not too inclined to sit at my computer and connect nodes. I gave up on a project. You can see it by searching. Testing the father's lighting. I'm actually quite passionate about writing myself, like screenwriting. I actually have a background in like indie film, and screenwriting is a big part of that. And I'm big on storytelling and story structure and stuff like that. So that's why I'm saying it's really important for this game, because I'm really making that something that I believe will set this game apart from games that are just about the animal, you know, survival life, and that's it, full stop. This game has more to it. It's deeper. Just like when I say this game is not just hunger and thirst, it's more complicated than that. The game as a whole is not just an animal survival game. It's a little more complicated than that. Although if you want to just treat it as that and just play it for that part, that's perfectly fine. But there's a lot more to it than meets the eye. Deno Gamer X says, "Hello, Suko. Can you play as humans?" Not yet, but you will be able to. Human gameplay is definitely in. At first, I was not sure if that would happen. At first, I also even took the position that would not happen. Like you wouldn't be able to play as humans, but humans would be in the game. Now I've decided that humans are in the game, not only as AI, but as playable characters as well. So you will be able to play as humans. Solidity says, "I gave up on a project when I couldn't figure out how to trigger a particle emitter on every moving actor near the player." I'm so bad. There are so many things that I got stuck on. It's almost like there's like temptation, like, oh my god, like look how much work you put in this, and you can't even get the freaking light to turn on, man. We could do something else with our time. We could go back to doing indie film stuff, something that's less of a headache, because I mean, you would be surprised at how many little issues break games. That's just how programming works. That's how computer codes work. One line, one wrong syntax, the thing doesn't work. That's the way it is. Like to this day, some of the mistakes that I make are basic day one stuff, because the game is so big and there's so much stuff that you have to keep in your mind that it's easy to forget something that you solved 6 months ago. and it'll come back and it will plague you for weeks until you realize, oh my god, this is the same problem. I had already fixed this. I have a fix for this, and I forgot about it, and I just wasted all this time trying to solve the same problem that I solved again. Well, you know, that's the way it is. But yeah, the first hurdle with any new thing is, you know, the hurdle of, you know, how do I do this and not give up doing it? Because it's hard. It is hard. Professionals find it hard. Like established pros find it very difficult. So as new people, as amateurs or indie developers, it's, you know, you know what to expect. Oh, there's footage of the herd. So this is like what it looks like when you're out on the savannah and there's like a herd of wildebeest coming. There's got to be at least 20 or 30 moving around there, and we're getting decent performance. So the animal movements weren't an issue. We got a variety, so it wasn't just wildebeest. We had rhinos, we could see giraffes, we had birds in the sky. We found some real success in this game. All right, I'm just gonna get ready to close out. Before I do, I'm just going to just see, was there any other actual elephant footage stuff that I wanted to show. Nope. That's it. Well, so I didn't get to show exactly what I had in mind for this stream. I thought it would be like kind of, you know, very smooth, and, you know, you get to see the elephant clearly growing, but we ended up a lot of it being at night, and like, you know, we have night vision, but it's not as good as seeing it during the day. And then when we finally hit adult and the model switched, the thing crashed. We switched to the adult model upon getting back into the level, and it crashed not too long after that. So I do have something still I want to fix. So sorry that happened, but, you know, I think some good promising signs were shown. Like, I think the quality of the level is looking good, and I think the performance is good. It looked fluid. A lot of this did not look that way weeks ago. Like, it was struggling even to get like a few animals on the screen on that particular level because of how huge it is. But we did solve that, and now it looks very smooth. So a few more issues to fix with, you know, when the adult elephant comes into play. But other than that, we're very, very, very close to finally getting 1.6 done and out to you guys. And I will be announcing some changes to how you access the game going forward. I think everyone's going to be happy with it. I think it's going to be a sign of progress. All right. Thanks so much, guys, for tuning in. If you have not already, please subscribe to The Great Circle on YouTube, the official YouTube. You can find it. Actually, I'm going to show you how to find it really quickly, because I'm a example guy like that. But if you're on YouTube and you just type in The Great Circle Game, because some of you may be watching on Suko King, that's my channel, that's me. Here's the official Great Circle YouTube right here. And I recently went back and like started to like unlist all the Suko King Great Circle videos, so you can still get to them on my channel, but I want the official to start taking over the search engine optimization. So if you go here, subscribe, of course, get all the notifications, but I'm going to be posting a lot more stuff a lot more often about the game on the official YouTube game channel. We're actually streaming there as well, so I am multi-streaming. But here, you know, you can see like other elephant related stuff. This was posted the other day. This is in-game music, by the way. So this is when things were going good during that recording. Really good environmentals. So we do post stuff like that on the official channel. Yeah, and you can also see like whenever we have like new animals, we kind of post them on the channel too. So like you can see like the introductory animations and stuff to just kind of show when we have new stuff going on. So like if you were to look in the description of the video, you can see that you can follow the YouTube directly. Sometimes this breaks and I can't for the life of me figure out why it does this. You know, it's YouTube. It told me to format it that way and it breaks it. So if that happens, and I can't I'm talking about it in the video. If that happens, you can just go to our website here, and you know the other stuff works sometimes, but the links break. Just go to our website. That always works for whatever. I take that back. thegreatcircle.weebly.com is the website, but this links to everything. So you got your YouTube, you got your Facebook, you got your Twitter. We have Twitch too. It's not showing there for whatever reason, but we have it. I'll make sure we put a link there later. Instagram. Our Instagram's doing really good. We got like 900 something followers now. Oh, we're almost at 1K. Instagram's been doing really nice for us, and I'm using that to kind of get people to subscribe to the YouTube as well. But yeah, you can see like little short stuff posted there. Really cool. But follow us on our social medias. You can go to our website. That link always works. I should put that towards the top just in case people start to be like, why did none of these links work, dude? It's not me. It's YouTube. But yeah, follow the Great Circle, and all the new stuff is coming. And oh yeah, if you want to play the game, you're gonna need to join the Discord. There's a Discord tab right there, and if you were to scroll down, the logo's there too. But this here gets you into the Discord, and it's on a tab. We have that many people now. Let me see. Hold on. How many is that? That's 360 something. Wow. 362. I didn't know we had that many. I thought we were still like under 200. So we're growing. We're growing pretty quickly. Things are moving quickly. But thanks guys for your interest. Thanks for stopping by for the Great Circle. But I'm going to be posting more about the video games that I do on Suko King's channel toward more of the future, and more of the Great Circle stuff is going to be on the Great Circle's channel. So definitely subscribe, follow that. Excuse me, had a hiccup. And keep an eye out. I have more stuff that I haven't released yet. More progress, more animals. It's on the way. You guys have a great rest of your evening, and if you have any follow-up questions, just go ahead and post them as comments below the video, and I'll respond to those directly. You guys have a wonderful evening. Thanks so much. All right, take care.